Welcome back to my channel. Today we are making this super easy mesh top which is created using only one rectangle. It has a poncho style fit, but you can also wear it as a cute one shoulder top. It's quick and simple and perfect for beginners. So grab your yarn and let's begin. For this project, I'm going to use this yarn between light and medium size, and I used around 250 grams of it. This pattern is totally adjustable to any yarn and any clothing size, and this top without any adjustments can fit between size small to large easily. Then we're gonna use a 10mm hook to give that light texture for our top, measuring tape and scissors. So let's start from foundation chain, and as usual we are starting from a slip knot. So wrap around your fingers like this in X position, and then pull the working yarn through the loop, tighten it, and we just created a slip knot. Slide it on your hook, tighten it, and we are ready to chain. So I am making a chain of 40. So yarn over and pull a loop. Yarn over and pull a loop. Yarn over and pull a loop. So create like this a chain of 40 or a chain of the width of your shoulder. So it can be more or less. It really doesn't matter. So let's do that. And I will meet you for the first row. So here it is. I just finished chaining, and this is how my foundation is looking at the moment. So I want to quickly measure one more time what length we have for the foundation chain if you need to adjust, for example. So my foundation chain at the moment is around 45 centimeters. So roughly around 17.7 inches. So this is the width of my shoulders, from shoulder to shoulder. So adjust here if you need it. So now for row number 1, we will add extra chain. So yarn over and pull a loop. But we are not doing chain of 2 to mimic the double crochet, but we are immediately in the second stitch, in the second chain from the hook, placing one single crochet. So let's do one single crochet. And now on top of this single crochet, we will place one more. So it would be the tail of double crochet. So now we are inserting the hook through that second vertical loop of the single crochet, and just make a regular single crochet. Finish as usual through both loops. And here it is. We have a stacked single crochet, and this will be our first double crochet. Already counts like that. So now into the next chain, we are doing double crochet. So yarn over, insert, grab the yarn, pull a loop. We have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So we have the second stitch already done. Now in the next, again, we are placing one double crochet. So insert, grab the yarn, pull a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Second double crochet or third stitch. Now repeat into the next, again, only one double crochet. So for this row, and basically for this pattern, we are mainly using just double crochets. and placing one in each stitch. So let's do that, and I will meet you at the end of the row. So here we are. We have the last stitch left. So yarn over, insert, grab the yarn, pull a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So this is our last double crochet for this row. And the first row is looking like this at the moment. So the very large hook creates this very fluffy texture. So now we are immediately turning the project. We are not chaining. And row number 2 starts like that. So we will be working not in the top of the double crochets, but basically in between the double crochets. We will be sticking the hook in between the bars of the double crochets. So right in there, right in those holes. So now in the first, we are placing one single crochet in the very first stitch, like that. And again, we are creating a stacked single crochet, so we are placing one more on top of it to mimic the length of the double crochet, and this will count as our first double crochet. And the stacked single crochet creates a very smooth edges for our project. And now in the next gap between the double crochets, we are placing one double crochet. So right in there, place one double crochet and pull through 2 like this. Okay, in the next, one double crochet. So right in between the double crochets from the previous row, place a one double crochet. Okay, repeat again. One double crochet right in the hole of the previous row. One double crochet. So basically, this stitch pattern is as hard as it can be. We only doing double crochets for one double crochet for each stitch, or in between those double crochets from previous rows. So the same double crochet amount for the rest of the rows, and only at the beginning doing double stacked single crochet. So that's it. Continue placing those double crochets. I will meet you for one more row, and then basically we are doing around 70, 72, 75 rows just to create the rectangle. So here we are, the end of the second row. We have left two double crochets, so let's place one. And the next one goes on top of the stacked single crochet right in the top stitch. Now we are going in the stitch, so the last will be always on top of the stacked single crochet. So place one double crochet there, and the second row is finished, and it looks like this. So just we're gonna keep making those rows of double crochets to create our little mesh top or poncho style top. So using this huge hook, as I mentioned before, it creates this very soft and fluffy double crochet texture. So now again, row 3 to row 74 or more, we are placing first one single crochet, and on top we are stacking one more single crochet. So creating a stacked single crochet as a first double crochet, and now just carrying, placing one double crochet for each stitch. So, and we are working not in the stitch but in between double crochets of the previous row. So let's go. I will meet you in the progress as well. So here it is, a short clip in progress. I am here roughly around 20th, 30th row. So just continuing making those double crochets, creating rows until we have enough length to go all around our body. All right, so I just finished my row pattern, and I will quickly measure one more time for you what's now the width of the rows. So our width of the top is around 51 centimeter, so roughly around 20.1 inch. So it grew a little bit, but it's normal because it's double crochet, so it spreads in the width a little bit. And now if I put corner to corner and we measure the full length, so half of the length, because it will be easier. My measuring tape is not that long. So if folded in half, the length will be, let's have a look. So from one corner to the fold of the half, we have a total. So we have around 63, 64 centimeters. So a total length is 127 centimeters or 50 inches. All right, so now, as I am using wool, if you are using cotton, maybe it's not really necessary, but we will do an extra step, which will increase our width and length a little bit. We will do blocking. So let's finish the piece without connecting it at first. So I'm cutting the yarn, and don't forget to finish with chain of one. So just do chain of one, then cut the yarn and take out the loop like this. Tighten the chain, and our pattern, our piece is almost finished here. So the last step, within all the loose yarn ends, so basically finish it as clean as possible. So within the ends, make knots to avoid unraveling, and I will meet you for the blocking part. Okay, so hi, this is me, and I'm showing how what's the length of the rectangle I just made. So here it is after finishing, after weaving all the yarn ends. So here it is, and we will connect on the side like this. So we can wear basically one shoulder, one off shoulder, or as a poncho. So here is the style. So let's go and block. So for the blocking, you can use either a big pot or a bucket, or here I'm using just our sink. I am adding a little bit of hair conditioner because it helps to relax those fibers, and a little bit of washing liquid or powder, or as I'm using here, a sheet of for the washing washing clothes. All right, and lukewarm water, not super hot, just very pleasant water, or even cold, it's fine. And gently submerge the crochet piece into the water and squeeze a little bit, but do not rub. Just squeeze, squeeze, squeeze to fully water it so it would be wet. And now we will be ready. After squeezing a little bit, massaging, we are leaving it for 20-30 minutes in the water. And after 30 minutes, we are squeezing the water out of our project very gently, very gently. Do not like twist and squeeze the water out, but just very gently with your palm, just squeeze the water out. And we will continue squeezing and drying it on the towel. So next we are placing a towel on the floor and place the crochet piece on it, and then we will roll it in the towel, and this way we will dry it as much as possible to take that excess water out of our project. So just roll, roll, roll. Make sure it's kind of still in the form you want, and then just tap, 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 smash, smash, smash. Do do as much power as you need to get that excess water. Even yeah, yeah, do it like this. So it's almost a whole workout, and then roll it out and change the towels. So now place a dry towel again on the floor, and then we're gonna start shaping our crochet project. So basically now just extend where you need, give it a shape you like, as smooth as possible, and after that just leave it to fully dry. So now after blocking, but blocking is optional, you can do it or skip it straight to connection. So now we will need to connect one part for our shoulder. So now here I am putting corner to corner and folding it in half like this. So now our plan is like this. We're gonna start connecting from open corners up until we reach the width of our shoulders. So we will connect this part roughly somewhere there, and we will leave this part open. This will be for our head and for the shoulders. So I know my shoulder width is around 42 centimeters, so 16.5 inches. Measure yours again and place a stitch marker so we would know where we're gonna until what part we will stop connecting. So place one on one side. Let's count how many rows we will be connecting from the left to right, and count the same amount of rows on the other side and place a stitch marker there. Okay, so now we marked the connection place, and now the next is to turn and attach the yarn. So we will attach the yarn just by making a slip knot and by attaching with a chain of one. So let's do that. Then of course we need to find the very corner, the first stitch of each corner, and go with the hook through there. So insert into the first side, then find the next one of the other side and insert through both of them. And now grab the slip knot, pull through both corners that slip knot, and then chain one just to secure the beginning. And now we will begin by connecting with the tall slip stitches. So for each row, for each double crochet row, we will place one slip stitch, but make sure it's very tall because slip stitch is very short stitch comparing to double crochet. So we need a tall, almost the same length as a double crochet. So go through both sides and make a slip stitch. So go through one, then through the other, and make a very tall slip stitch. So basically we are placing one slip stitch for each double crochet row. So let's go. I need to connect 16 rows like that. So let's place those slip stitches and we'll meet at the stitch markers. Okay, so here it is. This is how it is looking. So now we still need to connect the base of the last double crochet we connected, the double crochet row. So just go right on the top in the base of the double crochet. So just to completely connect the 16th double crochet row. So go through both sides and make just a slip stitch. Now we are ready to take out the stitch markers. We're gonna chain one and then cut off the yarn. So after connecting, the last step is left to grab a smaller hook and weave in those yarn ends we just grated. So weave it in, make a few knots to secure, and cut off the excess. So after connecting, we don't want that slip stitch seam to be visible. So we will just simply turn our top inside out. And that's it. The seam is practically invisible and we are ready to wear our top. So here it is. I hope you enjoyed this very easy and beginner friendly tutorial. I hope you're gonna try making it. Please subscribe, like, comment, and we'll see you in the next ones. Bye.